So back in February of 2020, before we realized that everything was about to kind of take a vastly different direction, I had a chance to interview Kurtis Blow about the Universal Hip Hop Museum. Now, obviously, some of the plans as far as time has gone have changed since the time that this interview was recorded. But there is still a plethora of amazing information straight from Kurtis Blow himself, with details about the people and the corporations that they have collaborated with. And of course, things are moving forward now, and the Universal Hip Hop Museum is reaching out to the public to get some support. So I am including a link in the description wherever you may be seeing this. You can also just search for Universal Hip Hop Museum to see how you can be part of it. So sit back, chill out, listen to the man, the master himself, of course, Kurtis Blow, as he talks about the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And then make sure you visit www.uhhm.org to find out how you can be part of it yourself.
So after all these decades, after 40 years, 40 plus years now of being in the business, you have so many things that you've opened up for the world and projects now that are looking back at your history and at your success and the pathways that you've opened up for so many people that have come after you. And so today we're here to talk about some very, very special projects of yours, including the Universal Hip Hop Museum and, of course, the Hip Hop Church, and maybe one or two things we might get to later. But what I first want to talk about, I guess, is just a little bit of the Hip Hop Museum and talk a little bit about the beginnings and the ideas behind that and how you got inspired to bring all of these people together to help form that.
Okay. Well, thank you for that wonderful intro. I just sitting here thinking about, wow, I've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a blessing that I could still be here to talk about it, amen. But yeah, let's just talk about the Universal Hip Hop Museum, which is a project we've been working on for about 7 years now, and it's about 35, 40 people sacrificing their time, working pro bono, just trying to create this dream or make a reality this dream of having a brick and mortar location where everyone in the world can come, in the Bronx, uh, and just learn about the history of hip hop and all the legacies and the stories and all the people and it's just a wonderful idea. I think it's so meaningful. I also think it's like the biggest project for hip hop to date, and it's so very, very important that we support and just express and explain the history, and not just the history of hip hop, of the culture, but also, we want to support the present and the future hip hop with this museum. So that's the Universal Hip Hop Museum. You can go to UHHM.org to find out more about it. Big shout out to Rocky Bucano and Adam Silverstein and Reggie Peters and Paradise. All of our people working hard, sacrificing, trying to make this dream a reality. Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Now, you have some other really big names that have come on board with the idea. I know you did an interview with Raken, and it was an excellent, excellent interview where you talked a little bit about the beginnings of that. And I know I heard you drop the name African Bambaataa, and that's the Planet Rock people for the young ones out there. And what are some of the other names that have come together? Because I noticed it said that you were unanimously voted as the chairman for it. So I was like, well, who got to do the voting?
Well, we have a board of directors, Amen. Like I said, 35, 40 people working on this project for about 7 years now. So we have a nice group of people who love hip hop
Hmm.
and who want to see this dream come to a reality. But again, want to shout out LL Cool J, who is one of our biggest supporters, and Nas. Another one is one of our biggest supporters, Rakim, of course, and people like Big Daddy Kane and Dougie Fresh also is a big supporter. Yeah, and we're reaching out to the newer cats, who are billionaires now and millionaires now, like, of course, Puff Daddy and Jay-Z and people like Eminem and Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar and
Mm.
Cardi B. We're reaching out to our younger, newer artists of hip hop just to let them know we're here and we support them and we love them, and we're going to make sure that they have a display and something is said about them in the museum and they will live forever, because this project is more like I think of it as like the church. You go to church to get everlasting life, and that's one of the big things about Christianity. And this museum is sort of like built in the same frameworks like a church. What
Hmm.
we do, you come inside and you'll see everlasting life for a lot of guys and gals who sacrificed and pioneered this culture of hip hop, and they will be there in the museum for 100, 200 years after we're long gone.
Well, I love the fact that you're using the museum not just to look backwards, but to look forwards too. And with that, you are incorporating a lot of newer technology so you can make it very accessible to people and very immersive. I know there's some virtual reality technology and augmented reality technology that you have for the virtual tours. And can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, a big shout out to Microsoft because they are our biggest sponsors, helping us with the technology, like creating interactive ways to give the people something else more than just coming into the museum or the pop-up and just looking at the displays. But there's some interaction where you can like find out what kind of music that you like, and their questionnaires and interacting programs where you can just become a graffiti artist, or you can, like I said, become a DJ and just pick out your own playlist of hip hop just by filling out a questionnaire. And that's one of our big interactive parts of the museum. It's so cool to see the kids over there just working and being a part, not just looking, but they actually are working on different parts of the museum. And we thank Microsoft for coming up with that technology and giving us that interaction. I'm looking forward to some more 360 videos and holograms
Hmm.
and and stuff like that. So the future is bright. We're dealing with the number one company. A big shout out to MIT as
Yes.
well, helping us out with the technology. So we're coming up with new ways to give the people something more in the way of interaction.
And one of your other big sponsors is also I Love New York, who I'm sure are very, very enthusiastic about this project, especially since a lot of the people that have hit the point in time where, maybe they have some influence on city projects and stuff, they've hit that age where they can turn around and say, yes, let me help facilitate this endeavor and make it, happen.
Yes, a big shout out to I Love New York. It's a great project for the city of New York and the state of New York, for the world, actually. So we have this brick and mortar place where everyone in the world can come to New York when you're visiting New York. Yes, it's a very popular city. It's a city that never sleeps.
Right.
It's 24 hours, a lot of things to do in New York City. Um, and so we have this is just another attraction for the city to just, give people something to do when they're visiting New York. And that's why I love New York, is a great fit, for them as well as us, just to get the word out and let people know when you're in New York City, one of the things you have to do is visit the Universal Hip Hop Museum. It's a big attraction in New York City. Thank you. I also want to shout out, if I didn't, Rocky Buchanan, a executive producer of the museum. He's done a lot of work for about 8 years now. And just wanted to shout him out for making all of those connections happen. And a big shout out to Governor Cuomo. The governor of New York State just awarded us $3.7 million from the state of New York to go for our constructions. We still need a lot more money to open up this museum. We open up in 2023, and we're starting construction this year. And so we're building this museum from the scratch. It's going to be on the bottom 2 floors of a big high-rise family income building, 24 floors, this high-rise structure that we're building. And we've been given the bottom 2 floors for the museum, about 50,000 square feet. So that's over in the Bronx on 149th Street, right across the 145th Street Bridge. And the address is 65 East 149th Street. So get ready. It's coming soon.
And they are still taking donations, so you can actually even be a part of the museum, absolutely. You can make your donations by visiting UHHM.org. And not only is it a place to feature the music and the history of the music, obviously, but it's also going to showcase varieties of equipment that were used over the decades and the years. I know that there's some people are going to be donating some really excellent equipment to sort of show what you guys started on.
Right.
Technology's advanced a lot in 40 years since you guys first got in the game.
Right. Well, we're getting all kinds of donations from, DJs, from MCs, from graffiti artists, from artwork to, like you say, sound systems. We got one sound system from this DJ who used to DJ with Kool Herc. His name is DJ Tony Cold Crush. He was the DJ that started the Cold Crush Brothers as well. And Tony Cold Crush is donating his sound system. I mean, all of these speakers and everything. We have turntables from people like Grand Wizard Theodore and Flash. We have, microphones and all kinds of memorabilia. We have music. We have records. People have donated their record collections, CDs, cassette tapes. All of these donations of memorabilia and, of course, the music and just parts of the culture are being donated by many, many, many of the artists around the world. And we just love it that we have this plethora of information. And it's just wonderful to see how everyone has supported, and they really want to see this dream come true.
And they'll, of course, be able to see your gold record from the breaks. I did see a little note where you said that you were going to make sure it was there for them to see. And what about the fashions? Are you guys going to have some fashion displays showing like all our great trendy moments throughout the last 40-ish years?
Oh, yes. That's a big part of the culture is our fashion, of course. And right now, we have a pop-up, which is like a smaller preview. It's about 3,000 square feet,
nice.
Right across the street from the site where we're going to build.
Okay.
Right over there, 149th Street is inside what we call the Bronx Terminal Market. Everyone in New York knows where that is, over in the Bronx. And we're right in the Bronx Terminal Market. Pop-up, like I said, it's a preview of what the museum is going to look like. So you can go there now and just see and get a vibe, get a sense of what it's going to be. And we have artifacts there. We have some clothing, hats and sneakers and stuff like that. And there's that interaction with technology from Microsoft that we were talking about with MIT as well. So that's the pop-up. The pop-up is called the not evolution of hip hop, revolution, revolution of hip hop. And it will be a display, a pop-up that will be there for the next couple of years until we open up across the street. So you can go there now and check out like a preview of what the museum is going to look like. And a lot of that stuff is there. We have a lot of artifacts, pictures, bios. My display is there, like you say. And it's a wonderful, wonderful pop-up. So go check it out.
I was going to say that. There you go. You don't have to wait 3 years just to check it out in person.
Right.
Before we move on from the Universal Hip Hop Museum, because we do have more to talk about, we have to talk about the B-Boys that you have for the Universal Hip Hop Museum. So tell us about the B-Boys.
Well, a couple of years ago, I started this committee. I just wanted to get together with a lot of the pioneers, those legends, the legend B-Boys that actually started breakdancing, because there's sort of like a controversy. A lot of people don't really know the history of breakdancing and how far back it goes before hip hop was created, before Kool Herc got into the game and started, giving us a great place so we can come and create our circles and competitions in the early days of breakdancing. That was 1974, but there were B-Boys who started right before that. Now, when you think about hip hop, and they say the father of hip hop is Kool Herc, and the start of hip hop is been noted August the 11th, 1973. I know you heard that date. It was a party that Kool Herc gave, a back to school party for his sister Cindy, and that was supposedly the start of hip hop. So the guys who went to that party, the original B-Boys, after that became the legends of hip hop. These break dancers who started out creating circles of people around them when they would do their dance moves. Everybody was trying to be James Brown, and do this fancy footwork. So you got kids like guys like Trixie, Dancing Doug, a guy by the name of Sasa. Now they call Sasa A1. He's an A1 B-boy, which means, when you say you're A1 as a B-boy, that means that you've never been defeated.
Oh,
and
wow.
So that's Sasa's claim to fame. And of course, we have the kids from Harlem, from Manhattan. My crew called the Hill Boys. We used to battle the kids from the east side of Harlem over there at Chuck Center, which was one of the first clubs before Kool Herc. And so that's a whole story. I just wanted to form this committee and actually meet these legends, like Sasa and Trixie, Dancing Doug. I've known Dancing Doug for many of years, about 40, 45 years. But there are other people like Dancing Doll, the first female, one of the first females, Dancing Doll. Her name is Darlene Rivers. And then there's a guy, many of the B-Boys that came later on in the 80s, like the Rocksteady Crew and the New York City Breakers and the Dynamic Breakers and people like that, who actually took it to the next level with power moves and all the breakdancing that you see of today. Was the acrobatics. We call it power moves, like the windmill and the head spin and the 1990 and air flares and air twists and all of that stuff. Those moves started in the 80s later on. But those cats think that breakdancing started with the Zulu Nation and the Zulu Kings. And so we have one of the original members of the Zulu Kings on our committee. His name is Charlie Rock. And he's setting everybody straight about, that first generation of B-Boys that many people don't know about. And I'm so proud to know all of them. I love them. We've been talking together We have weekly calls every week, every Tuesday. We have weekly calls, and we've been doing that for about 2 years. And I love these guys. Just getting on the phone, we talk for a couple of hours at a time, and just reminiscing. Big shout out to my buddy. We have a friend called the Mad Hatter. Back in the disco days, he used to wear all these wild hats and stuff like that, and he used to do the hustle, but he was not a b-boy, but he was a friend of all the b-boys, and we put him down with our committee, and he's just he has a plethora of information about the old school b-boy and breakdancing culture too. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to Clark Kent and the Smith twins. Those are the guys part of Cool Herc's crew and everything. Big shout out to Millie Mel and Scorpio. Those are break dancers before they started rapping. So a lot of us were b-boys and break dancers before we started rapping. And then in like 1976, 77, we picked up the mic and started emceeing. So that's a lot, big part of the culture of hip hop. There were many trends within the history from 1972, 73, 74, then into 76, 77, and disco hit, and everybody stayed with hip hop. And then the first records came out in 79, you know, with Sugar Hill Gang and Kurtis Blow. And in 1980, it really exploded, of course, you know, with Run DMC and LL Cool J and people like that. So we have a long, exciting, incredible history that will be told. The stories will be told in the Universal Hip Hop Museum. So big shout out to all my B-boys, all my B-girls out there around the world. I love you guys. Thank you for representing hip hop. And the future is bright.